Ruben Amorim has fired some shots loosely at Gary Neville. Now, Gary Neville, as we know, is one of Sky Sports' main pundits and has been for part of a decade now, maybe a bit longer, maybe a bit less, but somewhere in that time frame. Gary Neville, a club legend at Man United, whatever people think of him as a player, multiple trophies, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups, World Club Cups. This man has been there, seen it, done it, won it all, captain the club, captain England, multiple England caps. This man knows his Man United. But this man is also paid by Sky Sports to be a pundit and to be critical of all things football. Now, that's not just Man United, but what it is when it's your own club, we're all a bit more critical, aren't we? I'm a Spurs fan. I'm always going to be a bit more critical of my own club because I like to think I know the ins and outs and I know the history and I know what's gone on and I watch every minute of every game and I watch the press conferences and this and that. Is that what we're seeing? Are we seeing a hypercritical Gary Neville? Are we seeing an honest Gary Neville? Or are we seeing someone now that's starting to play up to the crowd? I don't know. Let's see what happened here, shall we? Now, this all started with Gary Neville talking about Ruben Amorim after Manchester United's boring, very boring, truly boring 0-0 draw with Manchester City in the Super Sunday game that wasn't very super. Now, he talked about Ruben Amorim and he also mentioned a couple of the recent managers that have taken over at Man United and to how they always go back into a low block, what they need, how they're not exciting, how they don't control games. And Ruben Amorim hit back at that. And fair play in my book. But let's see what was said. So if we look here, Sky Sports have gone with the headline of Man United need 5 new signings to suit Ruben Amorim's style. Now, I don't actually disagree with that. I'd love to know what you all think as Man United fans and any fans of any club. I don't disagree. Some might say that he needs more than 5 signings. But hey, we digress. Let's move on. As we go down here, we'll see here that, it says United are 13th in the Premier League and that Gary Neville said he needs 5 signings to suit his system. Okay? He's stuck with his favoured 3-4-3 formation with varying success after signing left wing back Dorgu from Lecce in the window. But Neville's talking about adding plenty more additions. So Gary Neville went on to say this, and you can see it written there. He said, from a United perspective, I get why he's gone back into a low block. But that's what we've seen from Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Erik ten Hag. They've all come in with the intention of playing high press, high energy football, but all end up going back to a low block in big games. He does say, however, that he understands why Amorim has done that today with the players he's got because he hasn't got the players to adapt, and then says they need 5 new players straight away before you even think about the rest of it. Now, before we come back to that, he's not wrong, right? These managers have come in and they've said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when they revert to the low block, if you will, good defense. If you revert to the low block against the bigger teams, isn't that a sign that the manager is saying, I haven't got what I need to go toe-to-toe with the best? I can't compete with Liverpool. I can't compete with City. I can't compete with Arsenal. This is what I'm going to do when I play them to get the best possible chance of winning the game. Now, in itself, that's not a bad thing. However, I'm guessing that what Neville's talking about is this is every manager now. Every manager's doing that. Now, I feel slightly sorry, just me personally, I feel slightly sorry for Ruben Amorim. I think that what he wants to do, I can see. Just me personally, I can see what he wants to implement. But I do agree that he's not got the players to do it. Now, here comes the age-old debate. Do you, as a manager, change the way you want to play when you first join a club because you haven't got the players to do it? Or do you keep drilling it into them so that when you buy your new players in the summer transfer window, the rest of the team are used to this philosophy? Now, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong. It's just a question from me to you. For me, I understand what he's doing. I watch Man U and I think they are well drilled. They are well organised, but they look absolutely lacklustre up front. So let's see what Gary Neville said after that. He said, there you go. The three up front are not good enough. And the two wing backs, they're not good enough. They need 5 players. Now, I do disagree with him here. I do think that Dorgu is good enough. I do think that Dorgu is good enough. He needs time. He needs coaching. He needs developing. But I do think that Dorgu is good enough. But I do agree that going forward, that front three as a three isn't good enough. Maybe one of them playing with 2 others might be better. But as a three, it's not good enough. That's where he's reiterated the 5 players. He keeps saying it. 5 players, system, the way he wants to play. Then as we scroll down, and I do agree with Neville on this, by the way, the loving between the players at full time was very strange, wasn't it? Everyone very, very nicey. But that's a different matter. Now we get to Ruben Amorim, where he has said, I understand that Gary Neville is critical about everything. I understand that we are having the worst season in our history. Man City won everything in the past, but this season they are struggling. So we are not in the best of moments to give the best spectacle to fans. We are not fighting for the big things. It's different. I understand the critical aspect of the players who played in this game in a different way because they were fighting every time for the titles. It's a different context. Now, for me, I find this all very, very interesting. I understand completely what Neville is saying. I do understand what Ruben Amorim is hitting back with. But Ruben Amorim's got to be right in some way. Now, I'm not a Man United fan, so I can look at this from the outside in. Man United fans can tell me to shut up, whatever. But I look at it and say, if you are going to succeed, then Man United need to give this new manager what he wants. Now, whether or not Man United fans like this manager or don't, I'm sure there's going to be a mixture. You put the trust in this manager, you're going to play his way. Until you have seen it for a number of years, or a year at least, and with his players, with him being backed, I think it's very difficult for the finger to be pointed at Amorim. Now, people will think pot kettle black. I don't like Ange Postecoglou. Sure, but Ange Postecoglou's nearly been here 2 years, has taken us so far backwards and had nearly £400 million and 17 signings. So, if in 2 years' time, Ruben Amorim's had £400 million, 17 new signings, and has taken you like this, month on month, like Spurs have, then I get it. But for me, I think Man United need to back Amorim. Yeah, I think he is right in what he's saying. I also think Gary Neville is right in what he's saying. And I think it's a big to-do about nothing. But what I do know is this. Man United can't go into next season with that forward line. Man United simply can't. I think players like Garnacho, Diallo, for example, for me, these should be young players that are learning from better players in front of them. They should not be the main players in the team. Same with Rasmus Højlund. They should not be the mainstays. They should have 3 senior pros that form that Man United attack in front of them. Then, when one of them's injured, then Garnacho plays for 3 or 4 games on that left-hand side. Then Højlund comes in for the last 15 minutes of games instead of whatever striker it is that you picked. But for Man United, a club of this size, this prestige, of this history, for them to have that front 3, not even Diallo so much, but when you look at, they kind of shoehorn Xerxes out there, another youngish player that should be learning. Yes, you've got to look at the recruitment. Yes, you've got to look at Ten Hag because he brought most of these players in. But should that fall at the feet of Ruben Amorim? I think he comes across like a good guy. I think he speaks well. I think tactically, I like his tactics. I like what he's trying to do. But his tactics aren't going to work unless you give this man some killers up front. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to ask you these 3 questions. Do you make either one of them right or either one of them wrong? Ruben Amorim and Gary Neville. Let me know your thoughts. What do Man United need to buy this summer? And I'm not even talking about to win a title, but just to get themselves back into contention of European qualification. What do they need to buy this summer? And should Amorim be a manager that's given time to implement his system, get his signings through the door, and then be judged? Let me know what you think. Thank you to everyone that's helped the channel grow so quickly. We've got 1,500 subscribers in just under 6 weeks, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you for your help. Please continue to watch. Please like, please share. And as always, I end my shows with a come on you Spurs. But today I'm not going to. Just say thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.